Click subscribe to get daily Manchester United content from passionate Reds, only on All for United.
First things first, defensive midfield. We had Matic start today, and I think that was only because McTominay had a bit of a knock. But I'll throw the question to the floor. In fact, no, I'll go to Charlie first because he loves Nemanja Matic. What did you make of his performance?
He was poor, as was everybody really today. I think De Gea had a decent game actually, but Matic, I've said before, I think he should start more. He was poor today, but to be honest with you, when you've got Fred next to Matic, I don't think you're going to have a good pivot, and I don't think we can really sit here blaming this player, that player, the other player. I just don't think we were good enough as a team.
Just out of interest, why do you think Matic should start more? Just give us that.
I just think against certain opponents, I think we just need, if we don't sign a midfield player, I just think we struggle to move the ball from defence to attack quickly. And I think Matic normally does that with his progressive passing. I think he's in like the top 1% in the world amongst midfielders for progressive passes. But today he didn't do that. And Fred next to him, I said when the team news came out, two left footers next to each other in a pivot. I'm just not a fan of it. I just think I don't think the balance is right. But yeah, I don't think we can take, I think we could blame everybody today. Bruno Fernandes was poor. Martial was poor. Maguire had a poor game. I can't pick out individuals. It's his fault or their fault. It was just a poor performance overall.
Yeah. Does anyone agree with that? I'll back open to the panel. Do we agree that Matic should start more, or do you think this shows that maybe we need to look elsewhere? Go on, Callum.
No, Matic shouldn't start more, I don't think. I think it's been very clear for a long time that his legs have gone. I think multiple times across the game today, it underlined that Matic kind of underlined the fact that our next signing has to be a defensive midfielder, and it has to be very soon, because I worry for the season ahead that we're not going to. We all had aspirations of challenging him, for the title, and probably trying to get a trophy as well. But with that, I feel like that the Fred and Matic, they were continuously making poor passes. They weren't finding the targets. Maguire, which was very unlike him, but I thought Maguire had a bit of a sloppy game. I didn't expect to see it. I thought, to be completely honest, I thought Maguire was up there with one of the worst performers. They seem to consistently lose the ball in the defensive third. I'd probably say the worst player on the pitch for Man United today was Martial. I actually forgot he was playing at one stage. It seems to be. I think his time is running out. If he wants to stay at Man United, he has to smash this season, because it's no secret that United are probably going to be looking at a striker to replace Cavani next summer. And if his performances carry on, then I have a funny feeling we'll be looking to ship him out. His performance as a centre forward today was absolutely shocking.
We'll get towards Martial, so I want to save your points on that. But staying on the midfield, what does everyone else think?
To be honest, I think just quickly jumping in, everyone's going on, and rightfully so, we do need a defensive midfielder, but a defensive midfielder doesn't win us that game today. We created more than enough opportunities to win that particular game. Don't get me wrong, in the future we are going to need one, 100%. Matic and Fred, and I agree with what Charlie was saying, two left footers for me in a midfield two, and a pivot doesn't work. Now, I put it out at half time. The reason Fred and McTominay worked is because one sat, the other one was more of the box to box, and it kind of worked more fluid. Matic and Fred today almost both sat. And that's why it didn't work. There was a gap again. And I said this after what worked with Leeds is there was the progression. Like I said, one sat, quick ball into Fred and McTominay, whoever's been in the box, about straight into Pogba and Fernandes. That didn't really work today. There was periods where we did do it. And, like I said, we created more than enough chances to win. However, that fluidity that we saw, now, we're not going to get it week in, week out anyway. And I do think the midfield energy of Southampton surprised us a bit. It's probably what we were what we were expecting to see from Leeds, we probably saw from Southampton. There's no reason why the reason why we had a game against Burnley behind closed doors, because clearly there's a few players out there that fitness is not there yet, and I think that was evident specifically, can never say that word, in the second half. But yeah, I think everyone's banging on, and like I said, rightfully so, we do need one, but that wouldn't have changed the game today, in my opinion. Yes, Matic and Fred both have poor games, but overall, I still think we created more than enough to win.
Stu, what do you think of that in terms of the opinion that I get what Connor's trying to say in terms of that he shouldn't have been resting on that number 6 position because we did create enough. But do you not think it would have made it a little bit easier for us with a better player in there?
Yeah, without doubt. A specialist 6 or
both
something
offensive.
Or even someone like Donny van der Beek coming in would have been pivotal to our way of playing. We would have been a lot quicker. But I think we're looking at it the wrong way anyway, because there are occasions in football where you've got to consider the opposition. And I speak about a collective group of professional footballers making life difficult for elite footballers, so to speak. And that's what you saw today. You saw a collective group, a will and a want to not lose a game of football. And if I was Harry Maguire, I'd cancel tomorrow's day off. I'd get the lads in and I'd show them the video and I'd talk about a collective. I wouldn't concentrate on the game itself. I would talk about how a group of average players, because let's be fair, there's a huge gulf in talent between Manchester United starting 11 and Southampton starting 11. But they evened it out by pure work rate. Even on 95 minutes, what was his name? Their second striker, their number 9, was still chasing. Armstrong, we're still chasing and harassing Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka then kicks the ball out. Our attack and our momentum has gone. And all through that game, even when we were creating chances and we were on top of the game, we were never further enough away to win the game of football, because whatever we were going to do, a stubborn group of men or footballers, whatever you want to call it, if I'm going to get hit now by the old sexist fucking thing, aren't I? But a stubborn group of footballers is difficult to beat, irrespective of the golf and talent. And I think that's how we should look at it. And if I was the captain of Manchester United, that's what I would be doing. I'd remove Ollie out of the equation. I would talk to the lads and show them and say, this is what we've got to add to our game. And there were a couple of lazy players out there today, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later. But yeah, Connor's right, Charlie's right, Callum's right. Matic today, for example, a waste of time. I could have done a better job than Matic today. I could have. I know, all joking apart, I could have. Matic has got to decide what he wants in his career now. He's got to that stage where he's got to decide what he wants. Does he want to stay at the highest level, or does he want an easier life? If you want an easier life, fuck off to Roma or somewhere like that. But if you're going to stay at Manchester United and you're going to start games for Manchester United, you've got to pull your finger out your fucking arse. With his experience, I don't know who said, I think it was Connor that was saying that Fred, and at one point, by the way, Fred was making up a back 4. I don't know, at the beginning of the match. A man of Matic's experience should be saying to Fred, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. What are you fucking doing here? Get 20 yards up the fucking pitch, will you? But anyway, that's just my thoughts.
I think that's the general opinion. Mark, I don't know what you think in terms of the balance of that midfield. I think Ben said it on his Twitter earlier today.
Yeah, we spoke about this
well,
and the tactical preview. You lagged out there, mate. So
I cut out there, yeah. What I meant to ask was the balance of the midfield. Did you think it was wrong?
Yeah, I do. We spoke about this on the preview and on Timeline Talk. I think that one of the worst duos in our midfield probably is Matic and Fred. Fred doesn't do the simple things correctly all the time. He had a great game last week, didn't really bode well today, and it just doesn't really work. And again, I know we talk about this most weeks, but it really does beg the question why Donny van der Beek wasn't playing. He would have been a good choice today, especially sitting in front of Fred or even Matic. I just don't think that as I said the other day about McTominay and Fred, we moan about them, but their synergy is better than what Matic and Fred is. And I think we could have done with those two today. So it was just a disappointing game all round. But listen, like we said last week, and Stu, you'll remember this, we don't want to get too carried away with wins, which we did last week, and we don't want to get too carried away with draws. You know, if we had been in a game where we looked really terrible and managed to get a draw, that would be worse than actually we've thrown it away because we missed a few opportunities. So our argument every time as well can't be about the midfielder. We've got who we've got. We need to find the right combinations. And if they can get one in, then great. Do you know what I mean? But it's just one of those things that I appreciate everyone's passionate. I was pissed off today, but ultimately it's a draw. It's not the end of the world. And hopefully we won't get too many more of those.
Yeah, and we've spoken a lot about the Matic thing. I don't want to make it about Matic because it wasn't. There's other areas which I'll get into. And in my just to put my 2 cents in, it was, I think in the midfield situation was wrong. I don't think it should have been Matic, but I think out of circumstance he went with Matic. Now, there were options off the bench. I thought Van der Beek could have done a job in there, but whatever the situation is with that, I don't know. That's a discussion for a totally different video. But I just felt the progression just didn't work today. Now, Charlie says Matic is usually better than that, and I agree he is better than that. But I think even when he is better than what he was today, I still don't think it's good enough for us at this moment in time. And I think that's why we're looking externally. But that's just my opinion. Comments, let me know what you're thinking. Before we get to our next topic, I'll just read some of these comments out. United needs to become the bully it was in the 90s. I think that's what Stu's alluding to earlier. What was wrong with Scott? Why did he not start? I believe he had I think it was a knee issue. I'm not too sure on that one. Bringing Lingard and Scott on instead of Donny did not make sense at the time, and still now does not make sense. No, it doesn't. But the way I described it was we couldn't get Grealish because Villa stayed up, and now Ollie's that kid who got his second choice toy and he just can't be asked playing with it.